Hi there, everybody. Welcome. I am Michelle Teague from A Teague of Your Own from Coffee with Two Coaches, and I'm excited to be together again with my good friend Betty Novak. Hi there, Betty.
Hi. Hi, it's great to be here with you, Michelle, again. And you know, working on this topic is really important to every organization or business. So I'm with Coffee with Two Coaches and Life Path Associates.
Yeah,
Good
and
morning.
good morning. This has been an interesting topic for us because we're gonna do part two, and this is about employee recognition. We did part one where we explained, employee recognition, and we talked about we had found actually a Gallup poll that had some really valuable information about how employees uh, who say most memorable recognition comes from their CEO or from upper leadership, and we talked about acknowledging individuals and recognizing people from all sides, and what employee recognition is. And so we wanted to start off today with part two of this series. We're going to talk about why employee recognition is so important. And we talked a little bit about this last time, because one of the points that you had brought up, Betty, was that in the job market, in the labor pool that we have right now, finding good people and holding on to good people is difficult to do. And so employee recognition can recognize and help you retain good employees. And so to add to that, uh, Richard Branson, I think we all know who Richard Branson is a great entrepreneur, has created so many different innovative organizations. He once said, if you take care of your employees, they will take care of your business. And the cool part is there is research out there that backs that up. Organizations with strong employee recognition programs report an increase in great work by, get this,
Yeah.
1,181%. That's amazing. And they have a high engagement rate. Their engagement goes up by 784%, and they have a thriving culture that increases by 648%. That's amazing, just from
Mm.
recognizing the good people in your organization. Employee recognition is an essential part of any organization's talent strategy, and it's for a good reason. When employees are asked, what is the most important thing your organization could do to cause you to produce great work? The most common response is recognition. So it makes sense when employees feel valued and appreciated, they not only become more engaged, but they're also less likely to leave, and they're more motivated to perform at their best. For organization, that means better performance in customer-facing roles. It means fewer safety incidences, means more innovation and invention, and it means an overall high performance across all aspects of work.
Today, employees need to feel safe
They do.
and they need to feel acknowledged for the work they're doing because it's really a tough world out there in all areas. So uh, they're good. If they can come to work feeling safe, that that's a place that they can, you know, be themselves. But, you know, again, feel safe. I mean, that is the word of the day, feel
Yes.
safe. So in order to feel safe and in order for you to understand employee recognition, we need to look at the benefits of that recognition. And so the first the first one is really important. It's improving employee engagement. And it starts with organizations that want to improve it. That's because it works, and I've seen it work. I mean, employees will go above and beyond what they're doing if they think that their employer is really acknowledging them and is in it for them. So Yeah, they're creating a culture of consistent recognition and appreciation is really important for you to do as a business person. That's an environment where employees feel valued and appreciated. And again, that's the key to employee engagement. And what we're working on now to keep our employees engaged, but also retained. So you want to increase productivity, and recognition does it. It it leads by marking improvements in productivity, bringing them out, telling you what productivity means. When employees feel valued, that their contributions make a difference, they are more likely to go above and beyond, like I said before. So that in some instances, they'll even contribute a new idea that you hadn't thought of as a business person, and or they'll take over a role that somehow isn't there at this point. But another important thing is it reduces turnover. So the most productive organizations like yours don't have enormous turnover. Employees who feel valued and appreciated at work are far less likely to leave. And that's the name of the game. We can't afford to lose anybody. So that's why the best organizations rely on recognition to sustain retention and reduce turnover rates. Because really, I did another presentation, and hiring somebody and training them is more expensive than trying to retain them if they're good. There's a better customer response. I mean, customers appreciate it when an employee is doing the work and engaged in the work that the customer needs, right? And so if they're dissatisfied, they're not going to give great customer service. And I've seen that too. I mean, if they're dissatisfied, and especially in the food industry, when I was with Popeyes, you had to really be careful because you didn't want the food to come out not cooked
No.
or not put together, or somebody's missing something in their order. People are not happy with that, or they're standing in line for a longer time than they could. So when organizations appreciate and recognize their workers, those employees are more likely to go the extra mile. And sometimes it's a little thing like a pin on a hat, and other times it's more. These interactions improve the customer experience and lead to improved customer satisfaction. And that's the name of that game. The customers come back
Yeah,
and
and
are loyal to
you're
you.
right. And it goes back to that quote, if you take care of your employees, they'll take care of your customers.
That's right.
And that's the name of the game right there. Because the happier your employees are going to be, the happier they're going to make your customers. Yeah.
That's right.
So how do we give recognition to employees? Because when organizations are taking a look at this, it's not going to be a one size fits all. Um, that's not what we're talking about here, because everyone's different. All Everyone that you have working in your organization is very different. And that's why the best employee recognition is tailored to each individual. Some of the people that you have on your team might welcome a very quiet note and a thank you more than a huge announcement at a big meeting. So it's really going to depend on the individuals, because some people want more public shows of recognition while others want something that's going to be more in private. So you've got some options when it comes to employee recognition and how you actually give it. The first is going to be verbal praise. And really, this is the easiest. All you're literally going to do is find that person and tell them thank you. And that's the simplest and the easiest way to do it, and it goes the farthest, because the reality is when you tell somebody thank you, they know that you appreciate what they did, and it makes them feel happy. It makes them feel like you're recognizing and that you truly appreciate them. So something as simple as saying thank you. You can be very specific about what it is that you're thanking them for, and that's going to make a big difference too, because it's not just a general, hey, thanks for all that you do. Pull out specific examples and explain exactly what you are recognizing somebody for and why. And that's going to make a difference because you want to encourage more of that behavior in the future. And if the person's okay with publicly receiving this, the more people who hear about what they did, the more that other people are going to do that behavior too. So that's
Yeah,
going to be
I knew of a woman who she got thank you notes with specifics and she kept it in a drawer.
yeah.
And I heard of another person who they were given certificates and they put them on the wall. And so
Mhm.
you could see, and it was for them and for other people to come and see, but it was really for them to say, I am valued.
Yes.
And
Yes,
they could look at it when they were feeling down, But
exactly. And that's the thing, because you've got verbal praise, but also written praise. And I mean, think about it. You could go to the dollar store. You go to Dollar Tree for $1.25. You can buy a pack of 8 or 10 thank you notes, and you could write your team members thank you notes. And that's something that they're going to have. It's something that they're going to keep. They're going to hold on to. Those can be shared privately. They can be shared publicly. Um, Personalizing those notes is going to work best. And once again, given specific reasons why you are thanking somebody, why you are showing your appreciation to them. Another way to really praise somebody and to give recognition are tangible rewards. And like you said, it could be something as simple as a certificate. It could be something that's a little bit more. It could be, a gift card. It could be monetary rewards. It could be points to redeem for gifts or experiences. Whatever your organization sets up, let people know ahead of time. Hey, the more you do, the better your work is, whatever it is that you want to recognize, let them know we will reward you with these types of gifts, these types of tangible rewards. And when you can connect the reward to the work, it's a whole lot more impactful. It's more effective for you. And last but not least, you also have public recognition. Okay, a lot of times you can do things in private, but there are some people out there who love being in the spotlight. And you may not necessarily have a formal award ceremony, but that doesn't mean you can't recognize somebody in public. Maybe at the next big meeting, maybe at the next big get together, you can make a public announcement. You could, if your organization has some type of newsletter, or if they have a private intranet just within your organization, you can make an announcement on there. So that way people know what's going on. You could also make it truly public by putting something on social media. Having a post on social media recognizing the efforts of your team. So that way not only people there at your organization know, but your customers know, your vendors know, people out there, their family and friends will know. They'll be able to see it there on social media.
Yep, that's true. And that's new. So you also have to there should be some etiquette to how you put things on social media so they are really recognition and it's not taken differently. So
Correct.
yeah. Yeah, and then as you as a manager, an owner, CEO, need to look at the types of employee recognition there are. I mean, when I was in some companies, you knew that there was a program for recognition. Like I said at Popeyes, how many pins you got for each service station, and then you get a big pin for performance. That was a big deal. And people, wearing a hat were just, see, I'm doing real well. And there are other things that happen in the employee recognition program. But you need to think about creating an employee recognition program. And, organizations use a combination of recognition knowing that the goals they are hoping to achieve can be driven by a single type of can't be driven by a single type of recognition. And what does that mean? It means that if you're using, let's say, the pins, then now they have all the pins. So now what do you do to recognize them? And it could be that they have a half a day off with pay, or they have an extra day for vacation, or they get like tickets to a movie or something like that. So but there's another type of doing it. For instance, Capital One worked with O.C. Tanner to synthesize data, technology, and humanity in their company's recognition effort. This resulted in their, and I have heard of this, one wonderful recognition program, capital O, capital N, capital E, der, full. And so it's a play on wonderful. Through which 75% of the associates in 145 different businesses, because businesses are the customers
Yeah.
of Capital One, um, these units were recognized, and Capital One got feedback on an associate survey that recognized Capital One motivates people and puts the organization at the same level as some of the other well-known technology companies that reward associates. And that I didn't know but sometimes you get that through their ads when they
Mm-hmm.
have a TV commercial. But this is good to know. And there are also most common types of programs. For instance, recognition in organizations, and you should integrate it into a program. And with your HR, you figure it out as to how you do it. For instance, peer-to-peer recognition is often the most effective way to show appreciation. So people like colleagues to tell them that they're doing a really good job, and go to the manager and tell the manager that they've seen them doing a really good job and they help them out of some sort of difficulty.
Mm-hmm.
It is a firsthand experience between colleagues and the impact that the honoree has made by helping them, and it's a big deal for them. The next thing is leader to employee programs and recognition. And the leader to employee recognition is also common. I mean, that's the one you probably know if you
Mm-hmm.
have it. And that's for a good reason. Leaders who recognize employees see better performance and more longevity. And really, the leader is so busy with other things that this makes them actually look at you. And so they know what their employees are doing. And sometimes they get away from that. And when employees leave the organization, they often point to the lack of recognition as one of the motivators driving them away. But sometimes when an employee leaves an organization because it doesn't fit them anymore, but they experienced good recognition, they'll go to the other company and tell them that this is what they appreciated about the company. And that sort of makes other company look and stand up. And sometimes those companies will ask them, how was their program? What was their program? And they'll want to do it. Achievement awards we were talking about earlier. So achievement awards can be driven at the end of a project or at a critical milestone. And it recognizes the contributions that go into achieving those goals, and who was really helpful, or if it was the whole team. And so leaders can give recognition achievement awards to everyone who helped on the project, especially as part of a broader organization initiative. And I'm trying to think, sometimes you have award ceremonies.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have single awards and you have multiple awards, and you have teams that come up on the stage or up front and they receive the awards, just like sort of you're graduating from college, right? Or high school. So it's a big deal, and it really is a positive in the way of rewards. The service rewards are for significant work anniversaries honored on employee achievements over time. I mean, we sort of not laugh, but we see that, hey, he got the 45-year watch, or he's recognized for 30 years of experience and really helping the company through a tough time. So this is a type of recognition that looks at longevity, loyalty, and sustained performance. Now, performance-based rewards, I think they're the hardest myself, because performance-based recognition is often focused on sales, something tangible, sales, performance, but in reality, it can be given to anyone who demonstrates exceptional performance or overcomes adversity. So these rewards are often involve tangible rewards like bonuses or gifts. Sometimes they can be given to a new person who is going through the 120 days and they've made it as a permanent employee. And so, they may be given like a day off or something, saying that, this is our recognition program and you're part of the performance part, and your performance was exceptional while you were learning the work and engaging yourself with other people in the company.
And when it comes to the performance-based rewards, when you need to make sure that you're giving it to the people who actually deserve it. And the reason why I say that is because it reinforces the behavior. It reinforces what they're doing to other people, not only to themselves, but to the other people around them. And say, oh, that's what you get for, like you said, having the most sales. That's what you get for having the most productivity. And uh, that's what you want to reinforce, is you want to reinforce the good behavior.
Well,
And so,
sometimes there's competition between teams,
yes,
and one team got the number one award, and then a team got the runner-up award, or they just missed it. But they can hear, if the person who's giving it to them is very specific, they can hear why that team got it. And hey, if the second team wonders about it, they can go to their leader and find out how they could get the award the next time. What can they
exactly.
improve on? So
Yep.
that's easier to do because it's measured.
Yes, definitely. So we've got these different employee recognition programs that you talked about, but a lot of organizations want to measure employee recognition because they want to make sure it's worth the time and effort for them to implement. So how do you measure the return on investment, or the ROI of employee recognition? Because it's challenging to measure that, but it's not impossible. For example, the Navy Federal Credit Union measures employee experience every 18 months through an enterprise engagement survey, as well as more frequently used pulse surveys. And here are some of the ways that the return on investment of employee recognition has been measured. The first is experience impact. A culture of recognition supported by effective recognition programs should generate hundreds, if not thousands, of positive employee experiences every day. Organizations can measure the impact on employee experience by tracking how many people are being recognized, participation trends, program satisfaction, and inclusivity. So you can take a look at that and experience impact. Another thing that you can do, excuse me, is the culture impact. Because while experience is focused on individual employees, culture is focused on the organization as a whole. Connecting an individual to the broader purpose and success of an organization is one measurable way that recognition can make a difference for the organization. So there are 6 elements that organizations should track. The first one is purpose. How connected do people feel to it? How connected do people feel to the purpose of the organization? The second one is opportunity. Do people feel they can develop and grow? Do they feel like they have that opportunity to develop and grow? The third is success. Do people feel like they are doing meaningful work? So they are contributing to the success of the organization as a whole. The fourth is appreciation. Do people feel valued for their contributions? Do they feel like they're being appreciated for what they're doing? The fifth is well-being. Are people's physical, social, emotional, and financial well-being being taken care of? Okay, does the organization actually care about their organization, about the employees' well-being? And finally, the sixth one is leadership. Do employees feel they have leaders who support and mentor them effectively? Is leadership there for them when they need it? And that's huge when it comes to the culture of an organization. When it comes to measuring ROI, we also have the business impact. And while some people may look at employee recognition simply as a cost or as an expense, that would be a mistake. A well-designed recognition program can affect many business outcomes. Uh, it can affect the result of the company itself. For example, absenteeism and turnover are often tied to lack of recognition. Recognition can also affect things like engagement, satisfaction, productivity, and developmental growth. So there's a lot of ways that you can actually measure the return on investment for employee recognition.
And the cultural aspect of employee recognition is really what people are looking for. They
Mhm.
want to go to a healthy culture, even if they're not paid, even if they go lose some compensation when they go there. But they want to also see that there's a way that they can get back that compensation loss by being promoted or being recognized and getting tangible recognition in the idea of money or maybe time off type of things. So this culture is what's always talked about by recruiters and by HR and by anybody who is looking now for a company. They don't want to go into a company that's sick.
No,
And I did it once and I needed to get out. It
yeah,
was
yeah.
bad.
I
So yeah.
worked, I provided training to a company that did not have a healthy culture. It was a very toxic culture. And the HR director left there and went to a new company, and she brought me into her new company
Mhm.
to do the training, and you could see a difference just in her. Just the attitude that she had, the performance that she had, eh, so different. And you're right, culture is huge when it comes to organizations. And when it comes to productivity, if you've got a bad culture, people aren't going to want to work there. And so it makes sense to make sure that you've got a healthy culture, that you've got one that appreciates the people who are working there, and one that's going to recognize good people and continue to do that. So yeah.
Now, sometimes you're recognized by a manager that's above you, senior leader, but the owner of the company, if it's entrepreneur, doesn't. And I worked for a company in Virginia that there was high turnover among there was high turnover among the salon stylists. I think you can probably guess who it is. And yet there was high turnover in the HR department because I saw somebody from marketing. She had left, and she said the whole HR had turned over. And
Mhm.
we were a good team, so I was sort of shocked. But it wasn't a good place. So-
No. No.
And that can happen in the government too,
Oh yeah.
where people try to flee to go to another agency with the same job, or like two of us at a county government, we were we were being so abused that we were both having, what's the word, physical problems,
Mhm.
and we both resigned, and the manager was like in shock. He didn't get it at
Yeah.
all. So all of his leadership consultants and coaches went out because the other one eventually left, but it took a year.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you have to be careful who you're working, decide to be an employee, be hired. It's okay to say no. You
Yes,
don't
it
have
is.
to accept every job.
No.
And culture and the recognition part of who you are and what role you do in the company and how well you do it, and if you're acknowledged, is important.
Exactly. All right. Well, this is going to wrap it up for part two of this discussion. We've talked about, why employee recognition is important, the benefits of employee recognition, how do you give recognition to an employee, the types of employee recognition, and the measuring the return on investment for employee recognition. This is just part two. We've got another part coming up for this, Betty, because there is so much to employee recognition that part three will be coming up later on. And we look forward to hearing some of the feedback that we're getting from this. For those of you who are watching this, let us know what kind of employee recognition do you have? And why do you do it? Why do you choose to do what you do? So let us know, and let us know if you have any topics that you'd like us to focus on for you in the future, because we're always interested in hearing your feedback and what you got.
Yeah, Coffee with Two Coaches has a group on LinkedIn, and so please go there. You'll be able to see us. And if you want to see the video, it's on YouTube,
Yep.
right? So you
Got it on
can
YouTube. We've
Coffee with
got
Two Coaches.
yep, Coffee
Okay.
with Two Coaches is on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and we've got all the videos there on YouTube. So yep.
Yep.
Um, Awesome. Well, thanks everybody. We will see you next time.
I'll
Bye.
see you next time. Bye.